Smash Factor.
Ripping driver, going for it. Oh my goodness. How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. Man, that is beyond long.
Look at this, he's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
Welcome everybody to week 9 of the 2022-2023 PGA Tour season, the RSM Classic. We are on the final event of the 2022 calendar. We will have a little break here. I think I can't remember if DraftKings did something for the Hero World Tigers deal or not last year. Either way, we probably won't be doing much for it. I may toss some thoughts in the GC Warrior Slack room or something, but take a little break. I'll definitely be back in December. Of course, be around for football and all that kind of stuff. We've got tons of things going on there, but be back late December with the kind of season preview, that kind of strategy talk show like we do every year. Should be rolling out our revamped golf tools section of the website for, if not the Tournament of Champions, hopefully the Sony. So some exciting stuff coming for 2023. I'm looking forward to that year. Let's get this one. Have a good week this week. Take a little break. Focus on football, holidays, all that kind of stuff. Fun stuff next week with, is it next week or 2 weeks? I think next week. I get lost in the time right now on Thanksgiving Day slate's one of the funnest of the year. Ryan and I will be putting out some content for that around Showdown and the 3-game slate that they will have. I believe it is next week. So I'm looking forward to all of that. Last week, DFS week was good. A really good core. Was high on Finau. He was in the core. Had some chances to make a run on Sunday. Did good. Made profit. I'm about even on the fall swing, which normally I have really good fall swings on DFS, but had just right around even most of the time. This week was really good. Hopefully, if we can finish the RSM off well, finish up on the fall swing. Betting wise, first losing in all the way around in a while as far as matchups. Started out well with another. I think we hit the 3-ball on Thursday, lost both on Friday, and I haven't got fully updated. This is around lunchtime is when I'm recording it on Tuesday. Hopped in real quick. Luckily, I was going to do it this morning, but Mama Guff's been a little sick, so I was helping out with the kiddos and stuff. So I just hopped back in here at lunch to do it. Only positive of that is we just found out a little bit ago that Finau withdrew. So I kind of had to update some things here and get it out to you. We did have Finau Dietrich double sweat on Sunday. They were leading after Friday. I think Dietrich was co-leading Friday. Saturday, they were both in first going in. Finau obviously gets it done. It was 254-1 is what that would have paid. Dietrich does not. He shoots like +4. Fleetwood comes from behind and gets the win there. I didn't feel good about it just because the Euro events in general, it's hardly ever the leader going into Sunday wins, no matter who it is. I wish we could have got a good hedge opportunity there, but you had to think Finau was going to win, but you really just needed the Dietrich piece, and then we could have looked to potentially hedging some with Finau. We really wouldn't have needed to, though. It just would have been a nice hit. But we were close. We'll see if we can get it back this week. Right now, Black 30 gets you 30% off. This will be good through the Monday after Thanksgiving. We'll have tons of giveaways Thanksgiving week, Black Friday, all that kind of stuff. 30% off for life includes a 7-day risk-free trial. You can cancel anytime in the first 7 days if you don't like it. If you come in, you want to do it weekly, then upgrade, that 30% stays off no matter what you do. So it is locked in for life as long as you stay a member. If you upgrade, add tools, whatever, you still get the 30% off any package. Rate and review us on iTunes. The more we get there, the more I will give away next week, as well as subscribe to us on YouTube. Like this video. In the comment section, tell me who your favorite play is. 9K in the 9K range. The 10K range is dwindled down to 2 guys now. So some interesting pricing in general by DraftKings, but with Finau out now, it really makes it interesting this week. So tell me your favorite play in the 9K range. We, of course, are in Georgia with 2 courses here: Sea Island Resort Golf Course, Seaside, and Plantation courses. Plantation, they will play once, either Thursday or Friday. And then Seaside, assuming they make the cut, will play 3 times. So that'll pretty much be the focus. Plantation was redone in 2019, I believe. Used to be a lot easier than Seaside. It has 4 par 5s, which it still does, but I think this will be the 4th year since the redo. 3rd or 4th year. It's been playing about even par, or not even par, the same under par that Seaside has. So not as much of an advantage as before the renovation. It's a par 72, 4 par 3s, 4 par 5, 7,000 yards-ish, a little bit more than that. Par 5s are reachable for the most part. The winds can play havoc over here, really both courses, but everything that they did during the renovation definitely makes this play a little bit tougher. We used to back in the day, 2018, before that 2017, 18, or even back. I mean, I started 2015, 16. You would always play whoever's playing the Plantation course for like Showdown and stuff whenever Showdown got around. But first round leader stuff, we would kind of look towards that. I don't know that there's really that much of an advantage. Guys will go low on it for sure, but overall it plays about the same as Seaside. I'll have my thoughts on that when it comes to maybe Showdown and first round leader. Some books don't offer the split first round leader. Some put them together. We'll look at all that as we get through the next day and a half. Seaside is a par 70, only 2 par 5s, 4 par 3s, just a little above 7,000 yards as well. Fairways do narrow as you get closer to the green. It's more of a club down course. We're looking at approach. Got to have a good putter. Bermuda greens. It's going to be cooler right now than not every year, but then most of the time. I mean, you're looking at some 40s in the morning, highs in the high 50s, maybe get low 60 all 4 days. Pretty chilly overall. Could have some rain on Sunday. Can't really factor that ahead of time. Right now, I don't really see a wave advantage at all, or, getting to play which course, which day. I just don't see anything. It looks pretty similar Thursday and Friday across the board. So we'll keep an eye on that going into tomorrow night and final write-ups. But right now, I don't see much of an advantage. I got the cut around -3, -4. Remember, we are at a full field this week since I get to play 2 courses, so full 156 guys. Then they will cut after Friday down like usual, but since you get 2 courses, they can get a full field in this time of year. We saw last week with Houston, and I kind of warned of that didn't know if they would get all the rounds in at least Thursday and Friday, and they didn't, either one of them. Friday was more so because of the weather, but Thursday they just ran out of daylight. It's just getting dark earlier. I got the winner around -18, -19. That's been pretty consistent. Last few years, we've seen -22, -19, -19, -19. 3 playoffs in a row there, and all 3 were -19. -21, -17, another playoff, -22. Some winners. We've had Gooch, Streb twice, Charles Howell, Austin Cook, Hughes, Kisner. Hughes was a runner-up. Kisner was a runner-up. Webb, Patrick Rogers was a runner-up. J.J. Spawn, Billy Horschel, Chappell again. So you can kind of see similar guys that have been here and won and done well. Key stats for me, I'm looking at ball striking, good approach, birdie or better, par 4, DK scoring opportunities inside 18 feet, and stroke gain irons, which is a blend of around the green and approach. 33 guys have not played this since 2017, so a vast majority have at least played it once. Salary ranges with the Finau adjustment, we have 2 in the 10K, 7 in the 9K, 11 in the 8K, 42 in the 7K, and 87 in the 6K. There'll be a few from the Monday Q added today. They'll probably all be in the 6K as well, so probably close to 90 there. Sweet 16, normal format as usual. 3 that I like: a bubble boy, fade of the week, sleeper of the week, some gut feel plays, betting top 5 to pop, and 2 long shots provided by Prize Picks, and then we will wrap it up. Keep it straight to the point this week because this will be coming out a little bit later than usual. And I did get asked, is this going to be in the spring? No, I'll be back to most of the time, Mondays, I'll be doing back to Smash Out on Mondays, typical format, once we get January here and all that. Right now, I use a lot of Monday to kind of analyze, go back through the stuff that just wrapped up for NFL. I do a lot of, behind the scenes work on all the NFL stuff. So I just kind of pushed this to Tuesday. I didn't want to come out this late, but this week I didn't really have a choice with Mama got being a little sick and this morning having to kind of help out around with the kiddos. So I like Mitchell, 9,300 to get it kicked off. It's going to be interesting with Finau to see how, because I had him pegged to be pretty high owned because was going to be the class of the field by a long shot, and it only played once here since 2014. Played well in 2014, but he hadn't played at all. Just by nature, it looks like you probably will see a balanced type build. I don't know how many people are going to go to Power and Harmon. Definitely discounted there, but pretty good loaded 9K range. I think people will probably try to get 2 in there at least, and then build down with not having to go to 6K if you don't want to. If you like someone down there, there's one that's horribly priced. He did burn us last week, Burmeister. I think he's 6,300 or something like that, which makes no sense coming off of last week, but. So I think right now that, just found out about the Finau deal that probably the balance build will be what most people go. I could see Burmeister. He did burn, no pun intended, a lot of people last week, including me. He was probably one of my few guys that were in the core play that I didn't, that missed the cut, but still playing well, 32nd at Mayakoba. So for 6,300, he could get a little steam, but I still think you'll see a lot of 9s, maybe they try to get 3 in the 9s, drop down to the 7s, 8 get squeezed a little bit. We'll kind of see how that goes. But Mitchell, I think, could be popular. I think it'll probably be spread out more than anything. Now the prices will be lower, but I still think all these guys up here are about even. So, he's obviously, you're going to see here the Seaside Mafia, all that kind of stuff. A lot of those guys from around here. I don't put a lot into that, other than I just look at how they've done here. And he's done well. 4 out of 5 made cuts, 2 top 15s, and then a 54th and a 44th. A 9th last week. I liked him last week. A 40th at the CJ Cup, which, again, that's a no cut, so a little bit lighter there. 19th in stats overall. 8th in good approach. 10th in ball striking. Mid-pack, a little bit above a mid-pack in the Bermuda putting, which may be a little surprising to some. But overall, plays well here. Coming in pretty good form. Pretty good price this week. I'll take some Mitchell. Jason Day, played him last week, liked him. 11th at CJ. We talked about, he's coming up, and he wasn't going to pop as much if you were bringing in, a lot of people like to go back 6, 8 months, whatever, top last 50 rounds. Some don't even put a date range. They just go last 50, which I think is a mistake. You should always cap your range to some extent. It could be 2 years. You never know, but really playing well. 11th at CJ Cup, 21st at Mayakoba, 16th at Houston, a 12th here 2 years ago. Did miss the cut last year, but in general, his stats still aren't there, but the recent form is really doing well. This course should suit him well. As long as he doesn't get too chalky, I don't know that I want to play a chalky Jason Day, especially want to see his tee time draw, because any guys with the back issues, and I have them myself, the cold weather can be a negative. And so that would be my only concern, is if he's out super early, like Thursday or something, gets off to a bad start, we know he can withdraw with the best of them. So that would be my only kind of asterisk, is kind of see what his tee times look like as it relates to the weather. Neesmith, was on Travis Fulton show last week. He was pretty high on him. I didn't get as high on him last week, but I'll go there. He made the cut, a 53rd. Great history here, a 29th, a 15th, and a 14th. So 3 straight made cuts, 3 top 30s, 9K. I like that a lot. Stat-wise, he's decent in the field. Nothing great, but it's good enough. 10th in stroke gain irons, 14th in ball striking, mid-pack, and all the rest of the other stuff. But I just like the way he's been playing recently, and the way he's played here. I do weight finishes here a little higher this week than just your average week. Tom Hoagie is my bubble boy. I think he could get really popular now, especially with Finau out. I do like him. He's had mixed results here, and you see that quite a bit, but 3 made cuts, 3 missed cuts. He's got a 25th, a 37th, and a 4th, which was last year. So I do like seeing that he's gotten a little better. But 3 missed cuts in there. So roller coaster results here. A 13th at CJ Cup, missed cut at Mayakoba. Stat-wise, pretty solid. 13th in ball striking, 20th in good approach, 41st in opportunities inside 18 feet, 32nd in stroke gain irons, mid-pack on the putting. But you're gonna see that with all these guys. This just now that you remove Finau, this really isn't. It's a good, decent field, but not a lot of star power. Just a lot of good golfers for and really when you start looking at guys in the 8 and 9K range, you're splitting hairs on kind of their differences and upside. So could be a week you could leave money on the table if you want. Not on purpose. I would just say you could play the guys you want. You don't have to force in just because the guy's more expensive this week. I don't think. 8K range, I do like this week, actually. I like Wyndham Clark. Doesn't profile for him, but we've seen that this year where people jump off. I think it was RBC week where Cameron Young and Cam Davis were both very low owned because of the perception of the long taking the driver of the hand would hurt him. He's played here 3 times, made 3 cuts, a 65th 4 years ago, and then a 23rd and a 29th. So I like that a lot, especially at his price. Coming in good form, a 29th at CJ Cup, 16th at the Houston Open. Number 1 in good approach, number 7 in par 4 DK scoring, number 14 in opportunities inside 18 feet, number 17 in birdie or better, 47th in putting, which is good, top third of the field. I like a lot about Wyndham Clark this week, especially the price, 8K. I don't mind going there at all. Patrick Rogers, just going to keep riding it. Talked about last week, that course didn't seem to fit him per se. And he gets a 16th. He's just playing tremendous golf right now. He's got 3 made cuts here and 3 missed cuts. It seems like a theme today, but a 10th, a 2nd, and a 57th. So 2 top 10s for him. I like that here. He can miss a cut. Obviously, that's happened, but that's happened to a lot of guys here. There's very few that don't have missed cuts, even if they've done well here. It just seems to be that type of setup. Could be bad draw with the winds on the course, whatever. I am looking at it just in general, but if I see the upside, okay, he's got 2 top 10s. I know he's missed a cut, but whatever. But now he's coming in with really good form, a 3rd, a 16th, and a 27th the last 3 weeks. So I really like that. Not much to hate about him. Across the board in stats, he's top 30, top 40 in almost every stat I'm looking at. I'll go back to him and just ride his kind of last week, this week. I'm not worried about anybody's fatigue or anything like that. They know for the most part, all these guys are pretty much taking a break until January. A few, I don't know if any. Finau may be the only one was going to play in Tiger's deal. I don't know if anybody else is. So most of these guys will be off until January. So don't have to worry about that. Justin Rose, I'll go back there. 8,200. Played well last week, a top 10. I believe he made my core last week, right up. He was on the verge if he didn't. He was right there. A 12th here last year. He did miss a cut 2 years ago. Missed cut at Mayakoba, but the 9th last week. I like that. Should fit his game really well this week. 14th in course fit, 23rd in recent form, 42nd in putting, so he's up in that top third as well. Stats, remember he had that little down roller coaster, so I don't weigh them as heavy with him because we know he went through a downswing, similar to Day. But you look at the last few weeks, he's been playing really well, and I like that price at 8,200. Bubble boy for me is Davis Riley. I played him last week. Continue to play him. I will play him. I don't think he's any kind of ownership or anything. He's just been okay. He had 27th last week, 21st the week before. He's played there twice. He is a Georgia, or I think he's Georgia. Was it Georgia or Bama? He's SEC for sure. I believe he's Georgia, though. 76th and a miscut. So, nothing great about when he's played here so far. I do think he's a much better golfer today than what he's ever been overall. 10th in opportunities inside 18 feet, 30th in stroke gain irons, and 6th in good approach. 51st in putting. He just struggled here. That's the only reason why he's a bubble boy for me. He just hasn't. He rates out 111th looking at how he's played here. Now I think it's totally different, but that's the only thing that has him as a bubble boy is what's been the issue here. Little deep dive on that later on tonight, and we'll see if we move him up or down in the ranks come tomorrow. 7K range, Scott Stallings. Love him this week. Done really well. Done good here. Made 5 out of 6 cuts, but never really finished just tremendous. A 35th and a 29th, pretty decent. And then a 70th, a 68th, and a 63rd. I would think this course does him well. He He is top 7 or better in all 6 of the stats I'm looking at. He is 7th, 5th, 5th, 3rd, 1st, 5th. So he absolutely rates out as the best, second best, but now he's the best because Finau was the best. He's 28th in putting as well. He's just done okay here. That's the only negative for him. But his price, you give me top 30 upside, I'll take it. I think he's playing great. I'll have a lot of stallings this week. I just hope he doesn't get too popular. Ben Griffin definitely going back there. I think he'll probably get some popularity this week. I think he holds the course record at Plantation, if I'm not mistaken. A third at Bermuda, 59th at Mayakoba, 16th at Houston. Again, we talked about the Bermuda meltdown when we had him 130-1. Love that he bounced back at Mayakoba and made the cut, and now he comes back and makes top 20 at Houston. I like everything about that. 9th in birdie or better, 11th in par 4 DK scoring, 3rd in irons, 29th in putting. He only played here once, 2019. May have been an amateur back then, but 7,300 I still think is too cheap for him, and I'll be right back on him. Alex Smalley, again, a guy I'll keep riding. Loved him last week. He finished, where is he at? I know he was up there. No one was around. There he is. So 4th last week, yeah. So he had a good. I think he even had a good Sunday. He was in my round 4 write up. 11th at Bermuda, 4th last week. He's only played here once. He missed the cut. 4th in opportunities inside 18 feet, 28th in DK scoring, 29th in good approach, 55th in putting, so a little above average. I normally don't like him as much where I feel like you got to get 25 birdies. But I don't hate him this week, especially at 7,900. I think he can be around there, give you a shot at a top 20, finish his fall swing off on a high note, and hopefully ownership stays down a little bit at $7,900? Yeah. Bubble boy for me is Aaron Rye. No real reason on the bubble except that someone has to be there. 16th here last year, 54th at Bermuda, miscut at Mayakoba, 7th at Houston. Mid-pack putting wise, 12th in stroke gain irons, 26th in ball striking. The other stats are a little iffy, like birdie or better. He's 88th. That's probably one negative that would put him in the bubble boy category. Outside of that, course fit wise, he's 4th, but obviously he's only played here once. I think his game would suit this place well. Don't have to worry about, off the tee type stuff. Put irons in his hand, and hopefully he can stay hot. With those stroking irons, he's 12th in the field, so approaching around the green. I like all that. $7,800, fair price. The only negative is the birdie or better deal, so I'll deep dive on that a little bit because I just worry about, is he in that small category where it's going to be tough for him to get up in that 20-plus birdie type deal. 6K range, Taryn, I told you I'm going to keep riding him in the fall. Played him last week. A lot better. Coming off back-to-back miscuts, he gets a 26th. 11th in ball striking, 21st in birdie or better, 25th in par 4 DK scoring, 16th in stroke gain irons. Just a lot I like about him. Just hope he can finish strong here this week. He did play here last year, missed the cut, but $6,900. He's a guy I'll have in the player pool. Not too heavy on him or anything, but I definitely do like him. Scott Piercy, $6,900. 18th and a 70th here. Coming in pretty good form. Missed the cut at Bermuda, then a 32nd and a 16th the last 2 weeks. 10th in good approach. 36th, 33rd, 42nd in the other stats that I'm looking at. His one negative, but 114th ball striking total. I'm not too worried about that, on a 1 week type deal, especially at his price. And he's done okay here, right? He's got one top 20. He made the cut both times. I like that. I like the form he's coming in with. I'm not going to be in the 6K range just a ton this week just because it's not necessary. There's a few I'll like and I'll be on. And he's one of them. I don't mind him. Stuart Sink is a third one for me. $6,700. Another guy, 3 made cuts, 3 missed cuts over the last 6 years. He's got a 43rd, a 25th, and a 10th here. So some good results there. Then 3 missed cuts, as I mentioned. Played last week. Probably got a little rust off. Hadn't played in a while before that. 57th, so he made the cut at Houston, 57th. I like that. Maybe come out a little sharper this week. 11th in good approach, 15th in par 4 DK scoring, 33rd in opportunities, 27th in birdie or better. All things I like this week. For his price, he's a guy in the 6K range that I don't mind having some pieces of. Bubble Boy for me was Hadley. At times he can get steamed up a little bit. I don't think anybody in the 6K range really is going to be too popular, but I think he'll rate out the best for most people. He's 17th overall for me at $6,900, an 8th, a 2nd, and a 20th in birdie or better, par 4, and opportunities at 18 feet. Love the 8th, birdie or better, and he's 2nd in the field in par 4 DK scoring, all things I like. He's made 4 out of 6 cuts here in the last 6 years. Nothing great with them. A 23rd, a 37th, a 45th, and a 50th. Again, he's $6,900 though, so he has the upside. I will put an asterisk that I didn't know what to do with Burmeister because originally I thought it was an error on my part. I like him. I'll go back to him. I'm just interested to see. I'm wondering if he even gets looked over a little bit, being that far down the board that people don't even realize that he's there. When you look at his betting odds compared to his pricing, it's an egregious misprice. He did not play good last week, but a 32nd at Mayakoba. He's never played here. I get it, but he is a guy that I probably will have. Now, if he's some reason everybody jumps on him, he's flirting with the clear highest own. Maybe we pass on it. I just want to note that. We'll see what that's looking like tomorrow night. My fade of the week is Seamus Power. He doesn't rate out well for me this week at all. He's playing good. He's got a good, part of it, which I always go back and deep dive look through. But he did well at Mayakoba and Bermuda, and there's no stats there. So those aren't pulling in. So I do think he'll be bumped down in some models. Now, when I do deep dive and stuff, I do some manual stuff there. But he also had 4 straight miscuts here, took a year off, came back last year and got a 4th. So, but now he's the highest price in the field. I thought he was going to be extremely low owned, and maybe you take a chance of that being that people would go Finau and skip. If I had to choose out of Harmon and him, I would go Harmon. So my fade of the week is going to be Power for now. Hopefully he, because of his results, recent results, a 1st and a 3rd, and then a 4th in 2022 last year, or 2022 season last year here, I think he'll be somewhat popular, and now he's the highest price, so I'll pass on that this week. Sleeper of the week, I'll give you 2. One, a local boy, Davis Thompson. Talked about him as well with Travis last week on his pod. Like him a lot. Did good last week. Made the cut, got a 43rd. He's played here 3 times, a 23rd, a miscut. I just like his talent. He's a pedigree guy. I don't think he'll be too high owned. Maybe he gets a little bit of talk up, but I don't think he'll be crazy at 7,400. And then Goddard up. I'll go back to Goddard up. Played him plenty this year. The only reason why he didn't make kind of the core up top is because he hadn't played in a while, and I just worry about the rust. But outside of that, stat wise, now again, he hadn't played in a while, but he's the 5 of the 6 categories. He's 6th, 2nd, 14th, 8th, and 8th. So, and then mid pack on irons, but everything else is great. Top 14 or better, and 34th in putting. So I like a lot about him. I feel like he's probably wants to come here, have a good showing, then take his break and get ready for next year. I think I'll have some of him as well. Some gut feel plays. Kevin Yu played him in this fall quite a bit. A 3rd at Bermuda, a miscut at Mayakoba. Did not play last week. He's 15th in stats, 2nd in recent form overall. I like that. Buckley, he's a boomer bust guy that I like to play a lot. He's popping around for me. He's 23rd overall for me in the model. 8th in ball striking, 6th in opportunities. Putting's always his deal. He ranks near the bottom, and if he can putt decently or be average, he can have a good week. Taylor Moore, I go back there. Played him last week. He had a good week. $7,400. I played him last week. He missed the cut, but he was right. I think he's one of the guys who was right there on the number. 23rd at CJ Cup. Played here last year and got an 8th. That's what I was referring to. Sorry about that. Missed cut last week, but an 8th here last year. 3rd in birdie or better. 10th in par 4 DK scoring. 21st in opportunities inside 18 feet. I love all that. And then JJ Spawn, guy I hardly ever get to, but he's been playing good. Made 5 out of 6 cuts here. He's got a 16th, a 2nd, a 57th, a 37th, and a 59th. And then one missed cut back in 2020. 15th at Mayakoba. So he's decent in form, good course fit, putts okay. Doesn't have to worry about being long off the tee because he's not. So I think he could do well here, and he's shown that. He's made the cut 5 out of 6 years. I like that, especially at that price. Give me a top 30 upside. I don't mind him this week. Betting top 5 and top 5 that pop in 2 long shots. Price picks. Click the link in the description. Use the code GUP, dollar for dollar match, up to $100. We have prize picks every week in football. We definitely will have it rolling for golf once we come back. Love their product, love everything they do there. A lot of people talk about it in the Slack as well if you want to look for picks in all kinds of sports, MMA, NASCAR, all that kind of stuff. GUP, G-U-P, dollar for dollar match, up to $100. Underdog is also in there. Same link, same code, same offer. Dollar for dollar match, up to $100. We certainly love Underdog as well. Hoping they do a best ball type golf thing. Been mentioning that. Hopefully we hear about that here coming up soon. My top 5 I like right now. These are adjusted. Things are probably still settling after the Finale, but Stalling 66, Griffin 70, Keith Mitchell 33, Rogers 40, and Smalley 55. 2 long shots. I like Gotterup 125-1, and then Kevin Yu 150-1. Don't forget Black 30% off. Everything on the site, any package you want. 7-day risk-free trial included. You can upgrade later. So if you want to come try out for a week, then you want to add tools, or maybe you want to go to monthly or an annual, that 30% stays with you as long as you're a member. As long as you remain a member, you get that off for life. Appreciate everybody. I'll have this out later Tuesday. Sorry for it being out a little late this week, but I think we'll have a good week. I'm looking forward to it. Final week of the year. Be sure to check out all the football stuff as well as we get through the holidays. Hope you guys have a good Tuesday, and we'll talk later.